Welcome back to the Chats and Recaps podcast with your host, Sammy.
And Mimi. We're glad you joined us today. So let's get into it.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
And don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you never miss an upload.
Please be warned that our podcast does discuss the following sensitive subjects, including murder and suicide, and does discuss gory and gruesome details. If you are sensitive to the following subjects, please click off now.
And we're talking about suicide and guts hanging out and, sensitive stuff that people might be sensitive towards. I'm not. I mean, I could sit and talk about it all night. It's true. It comes out of our body. It's not a biohazard. It's true. It's whatever, biohazard. Leave that shit for the chemicals. Leave that shit for science. We're not so fucking science. We talk about real shit. Yeah.
Happy Friday. Welcome back to another episode. And today we're practically in September. It's almost the end of August. We're about halfway through the month. And I guess we're getting started on the spooky things. October and fall is one of my favorite times of year.
Me too.
Especially Halloween time.
Me too.
So today we're going to be talking about some real, true life haunted homes, both that people live in and that are currently for sale. Ooh, scary stuff.
Scary stuff. I love
these
scary
homes,
stuff.
right? These homes claim they are so haunted that even those who don't believe in the supernatural, after visiting these homes, will come out believers. Ooh. I'll let you take away.
All right, so I saw a couple of videos. One video we kind of saw together, and it was from we didn't?
Yeah, we know.
Oh. You were shaking.
It was
your head
on
no,
the
and I
YouTube.
thought, no. Okay, and apparently he's a YouTuber. He's a vlogger of haunted places and homes. And his name is Omar Gosh TV on YouTube. And we saw one video where they were in this. Well, he was in this house by himself.
Yes. Well, the first one that we saw it's a home that is in Tampa.
Yes, Tampa, Florida. That was for sale too.
Correct. He had called it like a real life conjuring house. It got this name because it was actually this super beautiful, really huge, really lovely home that has fallen into disrepair. And the story behind it is that the home is extremely haunted. Every time an investor would try to have people come in and work on the home, they would end up, I guess, getting spooked out. And so they were having a hard time completing the work on the home. It had sat there for about 10 years uninhabited. So it had like a lot of mold, water damage, all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So he did a video where he was in the house by himself. You can check it out on YouTube with the Omar Gosh TV channel. And this was the video that was titled The Real Life Conjuring House. And the story is that the wife in the home, I guess that the husband left her for another woman. She got very jealous and bitter. And so she started doing witchcraft. And at first she was trying to do witchcraft to get back at them, but she did not know what she was doing. So it turned against her. And the story is that she went kind of crazy and that she was put into a mental institution.
An asylum.
They don't call them asylums anymore. They're mental institutions.
Oh. I think asylum sounds better.
Or a mental hospital. No, there's a lot of bad stigma behind the word asylum.
I know, but still.
So it's just a mental institution.
What makes them mental? I don't know.
Everybody
Anyway.
has mental capacities, just different mental experience. I don't even know if that's the right way to say that. Like different mental experiences or different views of how they see and or interpret things. I don't know.
Anyway, so he stood in the house. A lot of activity was going on in the home, like chairs moving across. He was finding things. I like watching his videos. I just feel like they're a little over dramatized.
Yeah. Oh
just
my
to make it like, oh my God, that door just closed. Oh my God. Somebody's walking down the hall. I believe homes get haunted because, of course, everything is energy, and a lot of energy gets left behind in different homes. And depending on what activities were going on in the home during the times that people lived in it, a lot of energy is left there. I don't believe that a lot of things happen the way they happen. I think sometimes the vloggers tend to create situations when they're not there just to make it more interesting. I'm not saying that the house is not haunted, because it could be, but
yeah,
I think a lot of stuff was staged.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the houses are haunted. I think that some of the things that they portray on their videos are not necessarily
staged,
truly happen, and maybe slightly staged, which makes it hard when you're watching videos, like, for people to actually believe stuff. Because, like, okay, well, maybe when you're staging things, how do we know, like, what did you stage and what didn't you stage?
Exactly.
Because even if you stage a couple things, now that's going to question even
it
the authentic
the whole video,
right?
Anyway,
so even if you capture something authentically, it might not be entirely believable.
And the only reason that I say this is because in one of the comments from one of his videos, he said, I really worked hard on this video. You shouldn't have to be working hard on a video if it's just naturally haunted and the things are naturally happening. There's no reason to work hard on a video.
He adds a lot of music, sound effects, and stuff like that, just to make the video, like, more interesting to watch.
Oh, maybe that's what
I think that's what he means by hard work. I don't think he means, like, setting all this stuff up. I think he meant it just like, editing and all that. Hey, editing, I've edited some videos here and there, not even nearly as long as, like, what he does, and he's adding sound effects, music, this and that and the other. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, that is hard work.
It
so
is.
If that was the interpretation, Omar Gosh TV, I'm sorry.
That's my interpretation.
It is a lot of hard work. Doing vlogging is hard work, period. Okay, it is really hard work.
It's not as easy as it looks. People think, oh, it's nothing. You pick up and point a camera. It's not that easy.
It isn't. It's not that easy. Another thing, if you want to invite us to one of these homes to check it out for ourselves, we'll be more than happy to go and visit.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
We are thinking about doing this, or if it's something that you guys would like to see us do, go out and visit some homes that are haunted and record our experiences. That's something that I've been wanting to do since the travel channel with haunted places and ghost hunters and all that.
Oh my gosh, y'all. I've been obsessed with the BuzzFeed supernatural videos where they go out to all these different places and they record. I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's a freaking dream, just to travel. And they get to go to all these places and they get to do it alone. Like, so they don't have to do it in a tour. I know, because they gotten really well known for it, that people tell them, invite them to come visit their haunted homes and do investigations. That would be so awesome to do.
It would.
Just go to places. Just because, like, the supernatural fascinates us. Like, we're both fascinated by supernatural things. We've done ghost tours. We did a ghost tour in Florida. I traveled to Georgia and did some ghost tours in Savannah. And then we have another vacation that's coming up in October, because October is the best time to travel.
You tell
Guys, I love October so much. I got freaking married
in
like
October,
a couple days before Halloween in October in fall. That's how much I love Halloween. So so we're gonna be
before Halloween. You got married.
A couple days before Halloween we got married. But so we're still fascinated by that stuff, and I will definitely be doing something ghost worthy in October, and I absolutely intend to record our entire vacation.
We are looking at equipment to purchase that we need, like the spirit box and the meter,
right, all that kind of stuff. It's
not
a question. It's not a question of will we do it. It's a question of when. I know. When are we going to start doing it?
As soon as we get our stuff, we can just start.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
Me too.
Yeah,
I'm more than excited.
I've been dying to visit a haunted castle.
But I want to visit homes that we can be there ourselves.
Yeah,
and just
alone.
Experience the whole thing and not have tours.
Yeah,
I just want to be one with the home.
Yeah. I think we have visited some haunted locations, like in the tours, that are truly haunted, but because there's so many people around you, there's like all these different energies in the room.
You don't know whose energy you're really picking up. Are you picking up the energy that's in the home, or are you picking energies that people walk around with? Because you do walk around with energy. You do walk around with spirits. There are spirits that will follow people. So I want to be there one-on-one.
Alone, yeah.
One-on-one with the home. And whoever's there, that's not us. So,
exactly.
And see what happens. I mean, I'm not saying that's something that's to play with, because you never want to play with the supernatural. But I would love to, see the home. And I wouldn't mind visiting homes that people are actually living in to check for paranormal activities. And I also do cleansing, so I'll even cleanse the home if there is something there. So,
Yeah.
you know, that's something that it's something we grew up with, cleansing homes and, you know, warding off bad evil. And so it's something that I do. And I don't mind visiting a home that people live in and cleanse at the same time. So
for sure.
Anyway, so he was in there. A lot of weird things was around, chairs moving. There was like noises coming from all directions of the house that was caught on the video. And like things disappearing where they were. Like if you really pay attention to the video, when he first is doing the video and he's talking, I thought someone was there with him holding the camera, but obviously there wasn't, because there was this light that kept going, that went across twice in the video. And then the door opened in the background.
Oh my gosh. Remember how we were watching? Yeah, when we were watching the video and it's the very beginning of the video. He's standing there and he's just kind of explaining the house and that he's there by himself and everything. And there's this light that goes across the top of the video. Then it comes back up again from the bottom, like back to the top. So just so you know, I was recording a video in our living room and I had the same thing happen where a random light just goes up the video, down the video. So I'm not sure that necessarily is ghost related. I think they're little particles of dust that hit the light that shines, and because you have like any light on.
Particle floats and is a continuous floats. But when things shoot across or float a little bit and kind of stay there and then moves away, that is not particle.
It was like floating across the thing and then floating up. It's like the same thing that happened in my video. Like it comes from the bottom and then like goes up.
Yeah, but
or it goes up here and then it goes down.
But that like really came up, kind of sat over the window a little bit and then took
I
off.
think it could be a dust particle. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Just because of what I observed in my video.
For me, when a dust particle is moving around, if there's no air in the room, it's just going to go up or zigzag. Not zigzag. It's going to go like up and down or across or just like float. His did go across the screen. It went left to right, but not the one coming from up.
It went left to right, and then it went down up.
The one coming from down up, and I want us to look at that video again. The one going down up kind of curved over, stood over, and then shot away.
Yeah, like it could be a dust particle.
But there was
the door
no
was
air.
Open. Remember, the door opened on its own, so there was air coming from outside inside.
I don't know. I'm going to have to really look at his video again and inspect that light, because it was kind of weird.
You can watch
how
the
it
video
shot across, and
you can watch the video and judge.
And then
for
how
yourself.
the door swung open, that was creepy.
Yeah,
it was creepy because the door was closed. Now anybody could have, stood on the outside.
Yeah, that's what I said.
And pushed open, and it just creepily opened because it looked like it was pretty heavy, a heavy door. Anyway, so
French doors.
I came across another one of his videos, and most of all these haunted houses are here in Florida.
Yeah, Florida's got St. Augustine.
Yeah, Florida
has a lot of haunted locations.
Florida's a haunted locations, state. Houses.
Oh yeah. Florida and Georgia.
So they were in this neighborhood. An investor purchased the home. And they've been trying to clean this house. The house was left pretty much with everything in there. Don't know what happened to the original homeowners. But according to stories, the original homeowners were killed in the home or something. It was like a drug deal gone bad. And it looks like there's some bullet holes in the wall. There's really no proof of what those holes are. But anyway, the investors that purchased the home they emptied out half the stuff, but they could never complete it because nobody's able to stay in there. They'll see like people standing in the corner. Like if somebody's standing in the corner, they'll leave. A lot of activity in the home, in different rooms. Things are moving. Things are flying across the room. So people are scared to stay in there and clean up the house. Now, for me, I'm sorry, if you're dead, you should not be possessing a home. You're dead, you're gone, it's time for you to move on. And this is how, you have experts come in to help them move along their journey. so they can move to the next phase and leave the home. They don't belong in there anymore. So
That rhymed.
So they were supposed to spend the night in that house because that's what they usually do. They're there from like 3 a.m. in the morning to the next day. There was so much activity in the house, and the area where the house is in is a high traffic drug area. So they were also scared for their safety. Now, but the thing was, they would lock the back door and the front door to make sure nobody can get in so that they're safe in the home. But the doors kept opening. So there was so much activity in the house. They didn't stay. The funny part was that when the investor was walking them through and the back door opened, a locked back door opens, they freaked out. So the owner was like, the investor was like, all right, bye. You know, see, they were supposed to stay with them, but they were like, okay, bye, see you. And they walked out, and he's standing there talking to his friend like, are they seriously leaving? And his friend was like, dude, they just got in the car. Yo, dude, that was their car that just took off. He's like, are you serious? They just left us here by ourselves? And then he's like, dude, they're gone. He's like, make sure that front door is locked. There's a lot of drugs, you know, stuff going on. We don't want no drug dealers coming up in here trying to use the house, and we're in here, you know? So they were just like freaking out the whole time. It was funny. It's a funny video to watch. But they're sitting there and they're talking. Mind you, they locked this door from already being opened because they're scared for their safety. The door opens during them sitting on the ground, on the floor, talking. The door just opens. The screen door is still closed in the front. Now, in that part, I believe is not staged. That door opened. And when that door opened, that's when they said, that's it, we're done. Mm-hmm. So they left. They stood there a little bit longer, and then they were out. They were like, there was just too much activity going on. Usually we stay the night. No, it wasn't happening in that house. We were gone. Yeah. We feared more for our safety because the doors didn't stay closed. Right. They kept opening those doors. The doors kept swinging open. Yeah. It's now, not I'm just sorry, but a drug dealer, you could have stood in that house with that door open all night. Nobody's going to walk in there. Nobody. If it's truly haunted the way that is, nobody is going to walk in that house.
I wouldn't stay in there either if the doors keep opening.
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel safe.
They kept locking the doors, and he kept telling him through the whole video, are you sure you locked? Dude, I locked the door. Trust me, I swear I locked that door. Then how is it still being open? Like, what is going on? And wherever they were in the home, there was always all this activity, like noises coming from everywhere in the house.
Yeah.
Now, that house is so haunted that there was a lot of stuff in there brand new that nobody broke in to steal. Nobody. I mean, there's a whole bunch. He showed a whole bunch of clothes with tags still on them, like sneakers, baseball cards, CDs, a whole bunch of stuff that's valuable. You know, there was a lot of valuable stuff in there, and it's still in there. So obviously, is that haunted that nobody can even go in there to steal?
Yeah, crazy. And the video is called "House is So Haunted It's for Sale Now. Will you buy it?" Yes. I wonder if it's still for sale.
I don't know, because this was in 2019.
My only thing is, I wouldn't mind buying a haunted house, but the fact that the haunted house is in a bad area would be a no for me. Now, if it's a house in a nice or like, you know, in a good area and it's haunted, then I would go for it. Yeah. But a house like in a bad Tampa area,
home, the no. Tampa home,
yeah, Tampa home is
if
different.
That house is still for sale and anybody knows where that's at, we're interested. Like, I want to buy it.
I looked everywhere for it. I could not find this house for sale.
So if anybody knows where that house is at, I would buy it. That's a huge house too.
I know.
I will personally buy that thing, cleanse it out, and live in there.
Yeah. It was nice.
Gorgeous. Then there's another paranormal team. They're called the Gene Team Paranormal Investigators. They have a
G team, like the letter G.
Yeah, the G Team Paranormal Investigators. They have their own TV channel. And they also worked with Omar Gosh TV.
Wait a minute. What? They have their own TV channel?
They have,
on television?
No, they have their own YouTube
you
TV.
said they have their own TV channel.
Man, no. They have their own YouTube channel.
I was going to say, dang, how'd they get their own TV channel?
Yeah. They also, I don't know if it was like in 2018, Omar Gosh bought a home in Florida, and it was haunted, and it had like dolls in it. And he got them to come and check out his home. And they did pick up activity in the home. They're the ones that used the spirit box and the detector. And they told them that his home was haunted. So I don't know if that was before he started visiting haunted homes. But they're also pretty good. They also visit like a lot of haunted homes. One that they posted that I saw was called Haunted May Stringer House. There was a lot of activity in that house. And that spirit box was yakky, 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 yakky. Which means they were talking a lot.
I figured.
They were talking a lot on that one. Like, they were like, who's with you? It was a male voice. And they were like, who's with you? He was like, Patty. And they're like he would speak clearly. And they're like, Patty? And she's like, yeah, I'm here. Do you remember me? He's like, of course. And then she's like, do you want to talk? And he's like, sure. And then another one of the girls, they were like, who else is here? And he was like, Amy, Heather. And those were the people that were in the room. He's like, a lot of people. He just kept saying like a lot of people. And
Sassy.
and then they're like, are you going to touch somebody's butt? Because apparently he's known for pinching butts. And then he didn't say anything. But when they were asking him that question, he said a lot of things happened. But then he said, but that was a long time ago. It's like, let bygones be bygones. But I think if they would have been asking the right questions, they would have found out a lot of things. He was really, really very talkative, which is weird. And it's called the May Stringer House.
Interesting.
I think it's in Louisiana. Louisiana is another place that has a lot of haunted houses, haunted streets, haunted hotels. But I think this one is
New
in
Orleans
Louisiana.
in Louisiana.
Oh man, you hitting me with geography.
Yeah, I'm like, really, geography? Isn't New Orleans?
I suck at geography. New Orleans, Yeah.
Yeah, New Orleans is in Louisiana.
Anyway,
that's probably why Louisiana has so many haunted locations. Because, they say that is very spiritual.
It is. Well, they did a lot of spiritual things in the streets too.
Yeah.
That house is a mansion. So it's really not a house, but it's a mansion. It was built in the 1800s, and it was also like during the Civil War. So a lot of people who've lived there have died, even a little girl. And these are spirits that have been seen throughout the house. Almost everyone who goes there has a ghost experience, whether the feel, the see, or when they take those little spirit boxes, they hear. And then in the attic, there's a bed in the attic, and they say if you mess it up before you leave the attic, somebody fixes it again. So it's creepy. It's happened to them.
I want to try that.
I know, right? I was like, I want to go to the house now.
But I would leave a camera in that room.
This was their second visit. I don't know if they videotaped the first. I didn't have time to look for the other video. But they had the house to themselves. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I want to have these experiences by myself. So it was cool. Maybe now is a good time because of coronavirus, so not a lot of people.
See, I would have messed up the bed, and then I would leave one camera in there to record the bed the whole time while you're doing the rest of the house, and then go back and see if you could catch it.
Yeah, see how it gets fixed.
Watch, if you leave a camera in there, it'll probably not happen. Or you go in and the camera will be off and the bed will be made.
I don't know, because nobody messed up the bed. I mean, if I would have been like, oh yeah, it happened before, let me mess up the bed now and see if it happens while we're videotaping again.
Yeah.
But nobody did that. There was
just because the fact that there's a rumor about it, I would still just do it just because.
I want to know.
Yeah, I want to see
want to
it.
get that experience.
I want to see it. And also, can I bring that ghost home so they can make my bed?
Seriously.
Like, come on.
Can you clean my home and make my bed? Because you're more than welcome to be here.
Do you hear the stories about the people who have ghosts that they don't do anything bad? They literally just clean in the house. So they'll have something dirty and they come home and all of a sudden it's just clean. Like their laundry will be a mess. They come home and all of a sudden all their laundry is made.
What?
Their bed is made. Yeah. That's the kind of haunting I want to have.
Me too.
Right?
I
would
want to
leave,
clean.
Right? I'll leave every day.
I want
come
a
back.
person that comes in here and cleans without me having to pay for them.
Right. Come back and have my house clean.
While you're at it, welcome to stay.
While you're at it, go ahead and make me some breakfast. You know, I don't mind.
I feel like eating eggs and then go in and take a shower. Come out, eggs done. Oh, done.
Yo, if you had a house that had a ghost in it that did all that stuff, that house would be sold like this.
I don't know. I would have to see that to believe it. I don't think energies.
I've heard stories.
I've heard. Yeah, we can hear stories, but are they true?
I don't know.
Or are they just folklore tales?
I don't know. But if so,
because I know energy,
I want to live there.
I know energy can move things, but if you notice when they do move things, it's not perfect. So how is the energy going to fix your clothes, do your dishes, when all they know how to do is like
it's a strong
toss
energy.
things around?
No, not always.
Okay, that's more than a strong energy.
There have been times where they do a lot more than just throw things around.
I mean, we can hear the dishes because I lived in a haunted house.
Opening doors.
You can hear the dishes. You can hear the cupboards opening
making
and
the
close.
bed.
There have been times where you close a drawer, you come back in, it's open again. You close a door, you come back in, it's open again. But to actually do dishes and fold and all that, I don't know. That's...
I don't know about doing dishes. The stories I hear are like folding laundry and making beds. I just took it to the next level. Like, you know, I want the one who makes the bed, who does the laundry, who cleans the shower, who does the mopping and the sweeping for me, cooks me breakfast. You know, that would be great.
Be careful what you wish for.
I wouldn't complain if somebody is doing my laundry. I mean, unless they're doing it wrong.
What if you're like, okay, you can stay here if you're going to do all that stuff. But then in the process, they're like touching your hair. You do your hair one way, you wake up, it's the next way. You know, there are
limitations to what is permitted.
Your personal space.
There are limitations to what I will allow.
Well, you got to be careful what you wish for, because some people don't know their limitations, and I'm pretty sure a spirit has it's about the same. I mean, they were once a human being.
Yeah. So on the topic of real life haunted homes, on this website called loveproperty.com, there's a list of 10 real haunted homes that are for sale, ghosts included. So the first one was listed on realtor.com, which is called the Whispers Estate in Indiana, which was listed for $130,000. Now, this is what's on the website. I don't know if these homes are actually still for sale or not, but this one is a 3,700 square foot property in Mitchell, Indiana. That looks like the perfect Midwestern family home. However, it does state the house was bought by Dr. John and Jesse Gibbons around 1901, where they adopted some abandoned children. One of the children, a 10-year-old girl named Rachel, is said to have started a fire in the front parlor and sadly died from her injuries just 2 days later in one of the upstairs bedrooms. Rumor has it you can still hear her running around the house today. There have been many reports over the years of occupants experiencing paranormal activity, stories of doorknobs jiggling and earthquake-like tremors, as well as the apparition of a man in his 50s who died in one of the upstairs bedrooms. So that's one of the homes, which is in Indiana. The next home, we actually looked this one up because you said that there was a picture of something familiar that you dreamt about a lot.
Yes.
It's called the Pillars Estate, which is in New York, listed at $450,000. When we tried to look it up, because I wanted to see if it was still available, it did say that it sold recently in July. So it has been purchased. It is a huge mansion. It was built in the 1880s. And the thing that really stands out about this house is the architecture and the design of the home. So it had previously been left in ruins, but was renovated in 2006. So all of the pictures of the home now is in its restored glory. Rumor mills started when the owner saw a child peering out of the basement window, and not long after that, a workman said that he heard a child talking to him. Since then, a woman in white has been seen lounging in one of the luxurious bedrooms, and owners have heard strange footsteps behind them on the stairs. The ghostly figure is believed to be the spirit of the former owner, Myrtle Carr. But fear not, because so far she's said to be completely harmless.
Hmm.
So that's the story
Yeah,
behind that one. This one was on Zillow.
When I saw that that picture of when you go inside the house, the stairway entry, I was like, oh my God, that's the house that I've been dreaming about for so many years. But the house that I was dreaming about was in distress, and it was a house that I owned, and it needed a lot of work.
What year? Like, how long
Oh
ago
my
were
gosh,
these dreams?
those dreams were like probably from 1997 to about, I think I stopped dreaming about that house somewhere in about 2012, 2013, somewhere around there. I stopped dreaming about the house, but the dream started in like 1997, 98, somewhere around there.
I'm asking because the house in any time before 2006, because 2006 is when they renovated, it would have been in disrepair.
Yeah, it was in disrepair. It was like it needed everything. It needed everything done.
That's crazy.
And it had a lot of rooms, and I never dreamt with the kitchen. I only dreamt with certain rooms in the house upstairs. I remember walking up the stairs, which is exactly like that picture. The steps was all red. All the banisters and everything were dark brown. And as I'm walking upstairs, I walked to certain rooms. And then I always saw myself walking out into the backyard, which had a lot of trees and stuff. And then it had a little walk path to a little house in the back, like a mother-in-law suite or a little apartment or something in the back that had a room, bathroom, kitchen, and it was all like messed up so bad that it had a hole in the ceiling. So that whole thing needed to be done. And then it had like a fountain outside that was dry. So it's just weird. And every time I had a dream about that house, I would enter a new room. But it always started in the front of the house going up those stairs. Always.
I wonder where those stairs are located in the home. I don't know if that's the entryway that's indicated in the picture or not. I would be curious to see if we could find pictures of what it looked like before it was renovated.
It's weird because when I kept having these dreams, and I'm like, why am I having repeated dreams about a house I've never seen in my life? And the dreams was exactly the same for so many years. And every time I dreamt, I was dreaming different rooms. So it's like, it's so weird. And I looked for that house. I would look through like houses for sale and look through, see if I could find pictures. And that's the only picture that I have seen that is actually like, hey, it's like if they went into my dreams and took pictures of that house, only renovated.
Interesting. So the next home on the list is actually in the UK at $586,000. It is a converted coach house in, I don't know if I can pronounce this, Dumfriesshire, UK. This home is a 6-bedroom. It's a former coach house located in the idyllic grounds of Comlington Castle in Dumfries, and it is a historic gnome known for many of its known for many of its ghostly appearances. The property is haunted by Lady Marianne Carruthers, who mysteriously fell from one of the castle windows in 1570. There's speculation about the true cause of Lady Carruthers' death. Was it suicide or something more sinister? Since her death, there have been reports of locals seeing the spirit of a woman, also known as the Green Lady, wandering around the castle, while other people insist they've heard crying sounds. What makes it even creepier is that the grass won't grow in the spot where she reportedly passed away. Interesting.
Very.
So there's a spot where they believe she passed that grass does not grow. I want to see that little spot.
Oh, that could happen. I mean, if it was her home, there's a lot of areas that are kind of connected to people. Like when my mom passed away, all her medicinal plants that she had in her little garden room, they all died. When she passed away, We went in to water her plants because while she was in the hospital, we kept watering her plants. And not even 2 days after she passed away, it was time to go water the plants. And when I went in, there was not one plant that was alive. They all dried up like they were there for months.
That is so crazy.
It is. And I was like, I almost dropped the water can, and I called Irene, and I'm like, oh my gosh, all the plants, they're dead. They're all dried up. They're dead. Like, what the heck? And then somebody told us that sometimes when people die, plants and stuff like that die with them. Some people's pets die. Plants, trees. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
The next house on this list is the Priestley House in Mississippi, which is listed at $899,000. It's a 4-bedroom property in Canton, Mississippi. Let's see. It was built by Dr. James Priestley in 1852. The property has experienced some strange goings-on. Since the doctor and his wife died in the early 1900s during an epidemic of yellow fever, it's become a decidedly haunted dwelling. Most recent owners have reported paranormal activity occurring in the spooky doctor's house and insist they saw the ghost of Susan Priestley in the bedroom where she died. Others in the neighborhood are said to have seen her spooky figure standing at the windows. The owners also say they've witnessed a piano playing on its own, candles falling out of their holders. It's been said that Susan Priestley got so attached to the home after she saw her husband die there that she just didn't want to leave. And this one is in Mississippi.
Mississippi has a lot of places too that's haunted.
Yeah, as we keep going, it's like,
I know.
Come to think of it, every state in the country just has so many
has haunted houses.
Yeah.
Just some states more than others because a lot of stuff happened more. It's like
this home is still for sale at $899,000.
It's like
it's on 1 acre of land, 4-bedroom, 4-bath.
That's a lot of land. And there's a lot of stuff that comes with when purchasing a home that's haunted, because depending on what kind of haunting is in the home, some of it can make you very ill, very, very ill. And so when you want to purchase a haunted house that you want to live in, you got to be careful because it can deteriorate your health, your family's health, your way of living. And then if you're trying to get rid of it, it's hard to sell because of the history that it has. So when you're purchasing a haunted house, you got to be really, really careful.
For sure.
So you were having trouble with
Oh, no, I was like looking. These next houses are definitely above the 1 million mark. This one is Lavetta Place in New York. So another home in New York, $1.9 million. Previously the home of Canadian film director Adam Brooks. It's a riverfront home located in Nyack, New York. Rumor has it that the previous owners, the Ackley family, lived with paranormal activity for over 20 years and then put the house on the market in 1989 without mentioning the ghostly residents. I mean, for the record, you do not have, you
don't have to disclose
you don't have to say that a house is haunted. And even so, a haunting is like an opinion kind of thing, because not everybody even believes in that stuff and not everybody even experiences that. So you can't say that like a house is haunted when you're listing it for sale.
But they do, I think,
you do have to disclose like if a murder. Yeah, like if a murder or something happened, like an actual physical event.
Back then you didn't have to. Back then you didn't have to.
Yeah, like an actual physical event like that, but not, you don't have to tell people that a house is haunted.
Yeah. Because
that's technically in like an opinion.
It is an opinion.
And it's like a spiritual belief.
It is.
So, it says, after the buyer, Mr. Strombowski, discovered the truth, he took the Ackley family to court to cancel the deal. In the 1991 court case, the New York Supreme Court decided that the Grand property was legally haunted in the landmark case known as the Ghostbusters ruling, and Mr. Strombowski won his money back. The Strombowski versus Ackley lawsuit is now so famous it is widely taught in U.S. law schools.
Wow.
Since then, even after all the bad press, the house has had quite a few owners, including singer Ingrid Michaelson and rapper Matisyahu. If you don't mind its spooky past, the spacious manor is currently on the market for $1.9 million via Trulia. The next home is also in New York. It's the Laffert's Laidlaw House. This one is listed at $3.2 million, built in 1918. This mansion in the Brooklyn neighborhood of Wallabout has experienced so much paranormal activity that it was written about in the New York Times back in the 1800s. It's a 4-bedroom house recognized by New York City Landmarks Preservation Commission as a rare example of a temple-fronted Greek Revival building and is one of only a few surviving structures of its kind in this part of Kings County. The New York Times article from 1878 reported the spiritual activity that Union Army officer Edward F. Smith and his family experienced when they lived in the house that same year. Spooky happenings include hearing doorbell ring with no one to be found, a brick crashing through the door, and the 2 rear doors of the house being kicked and rattled and banged with great rigor, as the article states. According to the newspaper report, hauntings finally ended after 3 weeks, but that didn't stop spiritualists and other visitors coming to the property hoping to witness and investigate the strange happenings. The impressive house is currently on sale for an estimated $3.2 million via Realtor. This next one is actually a castle, the Devizes Castle in Wiltshire, UK, at $4.2 million.
Castles are creepy, period.
Yeah. It says that this was previously used as a prison by both King Henry II and Henry III. The castle, Castle was traditionally owned by the Queens of England, hosting many royal visitors over years, including King John. There have been many reports over the years of a mysterious ghostly woman, also known as the Lady in White, so another lady in white, wandering the castle corridors. The ghost was originally thought to be the daughter of Charles IV of France, Lady Isabella. So the tale goes, after an unhappy arranged marriage to King Richard II of England, Isabella fell in love with a young knight. When the king discovered her infidelity, the knight was put to death, and Isabella was buried alive within the castle walls, where it is said that her spirit still roams today.
Oh, I heard
that is
that
such an unpleasant way to die. It's a very unpleasant story, but the castle looks very, very, very nice.
But I also heard that it was a possibility that she was let out by someone else in the castle.
So
she was dug out.
The ghost.
Maybe she was already dead when she was dug out. I don't know. Or maybe it's somebody else.
Could be. Maybe they replaced her with somebody else. Who's to say?
I don't know, but that would be like the worst way to die.
I know, being buried alive.
Like the slowest, most agonizing death. I mean, might as well have just put her in a freaking coffin box and put her underground, because that's basically what he did. I mean, he could have just put her down there with a toilet or bathroom and a kitchen and whatever. And
that's messed up.
Or he couldn't have just done that at all.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, different times.
I still think people think like that today, and thank God for laws.
Right? This next home is the Schwepp Mansion in Illinois. It's a lakefront mansion that sits on 5 acres of land with an additional 425 feet of private beachfront. Private beachfront. That would be a dream.
Mm-hmm.
It's currently on sale on Zillow for $8.5 million. It was originally built in 1917 as a wedding present from Mr. and Mrs. John G. Shedd to their newlywed daughter Laura and her husband Charles Schwepp. Tragedy struck in 1941 when Charles committed suicide, leaving behind a bizarre note that said, "I've been awake all night, it's terrible." To this day, we still don't know the true reason behind his death, but rumors say he wanted to be reunited with his true love in the afterlife following her death in 1937. According to local legends, the mansion has become a stomping ground for ghosts during the years since Charles' death, and the couple is said to haunt one of the home's many bedrooms. That's an interesting story. So his love died, and so he commits suicide to be with her, I guess, in death. Mm-hmm. So do they both haunt it together, or did they move on and some other spirits moved in? Not sure. That is sad. The next one is actually the Dakota Building apartment, also again in New York. This one is listed at $10 million. It is known for a number of ghostly sightings. The late 19th century building is one of Manhattan's most mysterious and exclusive residences, with stories of sightings having haunted the building for years. One of the building's most famous ghosts is said to be that of John Lennon. The former Beadle moved into their property in 1973 and was brutally murdered outside its 72nd Street entrance in 1980. His widow, Yoko Ono, believes he still haunts their apartment to this very day. Other ghostly figures who frequent the luxury New York apartment block reportedly include a figure who guards the front entrance at night, children running up and down the hallways, and the figure of a crying woman.
La Llorona.
Right? It's a swanky 11-room apartment in the famous Co-op building is currently on the market for $10 million via City Realty.
It makes sense. Kids, crying woman.
Yeah.
La Llorona.
Yeah, that's crazy. The next one is Earlshall Castle in Fife, United Kingdom. It is set on 34 acres of land in the Fife region of Scotland. It's believed to have taken its name from the site of a hunting lodge, which was once owned by the ancient Earls of Fife, relatives of Robert the Bruce, King of Scotland. The castle is reportedly haunted by Sir William Bruce or one of his descendants, Andrew Bruce. A phantom figure is frequently seen in the bedroom formerly used by Andrew Bruce, and heavy footsteps are often heard on the staircase. However, that's not the only ghostly figure seen floating about. There have also been sightings of a servant girl and another figure who patrols the spiral staircase at night. Constructed in 1546, the property boasts 10 bedrooms, 8 reception rooms, 3 cottages, and comes with its own woodland. That's crazy. It comes with like your own town to live in, pretty much. And this one, the price is not listed. It says that price is on the application, currently listed via Savills.
Creepy.
Yeah, so that's interesting. That's a huge property. Like, imagine living there and having all that stuff. It's like so much space.
I would love to live in Scotland.
That's crazy.
Scotland. Yes.
Although I'd like the sound of the property that has your own beachfront. That would be very nice.
Well, Scotland is beautiful.
Yeah.
I would love to live there.
Yeah, Scotland is nice. So is like Sweden, Norway. There's a lot of nice places that I'd love to. I mean, I would like to visit them all, and then you kind of have to, I guess, see what the life is like to see if it's somewhere that you want to actually live.
No, I would just live there.
Well, if you have your own town and you're just like unbothered.
If I visit, I wouldn't want to come back.
Probably not. This next one is the Forge Mansion in Pennsylvania at $650,000, built in 1784. It is a 7-bed mansion that was restored in 1994. That's the year I was born. With all the modern amenities you would ever need. Resident spooks include a heartbroken young woman still waiting for her love to return from seeking his fortune. His ghost still guards the road leading up to the mansion, where he tragically died after he was thrown from his horse the night he got back from his travels. That's so unfortunate.
It is. A lot of people back then died falling off their horse.
Yeah. This
common thing back then.
The home is also rumored to have built on a Native American burial ground, so there are endless ghouls that pop up from the supposed resting place. This one, it says it was actually recently sold on Realtor for $650,000. This next home is the Griffin House, which I swear I've heard of, located in Louisiana, listed at $954,000. Actually, it says it was sold for around $954,000, although the previous owner claimed not to have experienced anything strange within its walls. Locals consider it to be one spooky house you wouldn't want to spend the night in. According to local folklore, the house was converted into a prison in the Civil War. During this time, 2 deserters facing the death penalty chose to end their lives by suicide instead of facing the firing squad. Since then, things have been a little creepy. Previous occupants have reported hearing heavy footsteps and the rattling of chains and screams from the attic where starved prisoners were once kept. They've also claimed to see 2 white-faced soldiers in blue uniforms standing at the 3rd-floor window, both holding a bottle of whiskey in their hands. It is a 4,000-square-foot property with modern interior furnishings to die for.
When you said the chains and the moaning and all that sounded like so cliche for a scary movie.
Right.
In the attic.
That's not even funny. That's messed up.
Oh.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be hearing that when I'm trying to go to sleep.
I know, right? No.
Then
I don't want to hear nothing but silence.
Yeah.
Or the sound of my fan.
How do you hear silence?
You hear silence. And then you go to sleep.
Yeah.
Somebody just goes, silence! And then you go to sleep.
This next home is located in Georgia, the Hampton Lillibridge House, for $1.5 million, built in 1796. It has seen several gruesome deaths over the years, with at least one suicide happening in between its four walls. Just 3 previous owners have lived here since its renovation due to the reported paranormal happenings. It's a gorgeous house. There is no single ghost tormenting these rooms, but many spirits have been felt around the home by the various owners of the 4-story abode. To make the spot even creepier, construction workers uncovered a hidden ancient crypt during the site's reconstruction. The crypt, however, was empty, which leaves us wondering what was in there and where is it now. Last year, the spooky Savannah home sold for $1.5 million. Oh, his home is in Savannah. Hampton Lillibridge House. I don't remember hearing about that one in particular. This next home is located in Kansas. It is the Campbell Castle at $3.5 million. It's a historic property constructed between 1886 and 1888 by Colonel Burton Harvey Campbell and his wife Ellen. Let's see. Some of the property's most fascinating features include a 300-year-old grand staircase, German stained glass, Spanish Chevalier lamps, and an arched dining room window, which was imported from England. So it's only the finest of the finest things. So that one, it doesn't exactly specify what the ghosts are that are haunting this home, just that it's reported haunted. But it doesn't go into much detail as to what spirits haunt it. So it's unclear. This next home is in Florida. It's Villa Paula, Florida, $4.5 million, built in the 1920s. It is in Miami, Florida, a 5,235 square foot plot. And it is named after the consulate's wife, Paula, and is now said to be haunted by numerous ghosts. Paula died just 6 years after the couple moved in from complications after a leg amputation. It was the home's new owner in the 70s who was the first to report the unusual activity. It's believed that 5 spirits reside in the grand home, including the ghost of an infant and its mother, as well as the spirit of Paula herself. Ghostly activities range from constant knocking and door slamming to the smell of Cuban coffee in the morning. I
don't mind smelling that Cuban coffee.
A spirit that for unknown reasons hated the owner's cat would also try to trap it. The former consulate building is no longer listed.
Oh yeah, because animals can see what we can't.
Yeah.
They're very spiritually sensitive.
Yeah. So that was the list of the 10 homes, like real life haunted homes.
How come now on that, which is on another website, I think it's like that Rocket one. What was that? The Rocket
Homes?
Yeah, Rocket Homes for haunted house for sales. They have one in there and it's called Los Feliz Murder House. All the other ones that you said were in here, but this one wasn't in your list. And it says on December the 6th of 1959, cardiologist Harold Perelson murdered his wife with a hammer, then killed himself in their beautiful Spanish revival home in Los Feliz, California. After the infamous murder-suicide, the home was sold but never lived in. In fact, the interior wasn't cleaned out for years following the incident, preserving that night in time and adding to the home's creepy aesthetic. Trespassers in the past have reported finding old magazines and books, canned food, and cleaning supplies. Rumor has it there were even unwrapped presents sitting under a Christmas tree left standing in one of the rooms. Today, the house is stripped completely to its studs, a perfect starting point for anyone looking to remodel the home. 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom, and 3rd-floor ballroom. Ooh, 3rd-floor ballroom.
What? Where is this located?
In Los Feliz, California. However, while the Los Feliz murder house is for sale, it may be difficult to purchase. The seller wants cash or hard money offers and may offer selling financing. So that's creepy. To have the bloodstains and everything of the massacre
still there
until they completely for years nobody touched it until someone came in and gutted the whole house. Wow. So the house is gutted. It's completely gutted. So it's ready for you to just purchase and then pretty much rebuild.
So when a murder happens, they don't clean the scene. They just leave it.
You're responsible for cleaning it if you're the owner of the home. Yeah, they don't clean it.
That is so
Disturbing.
disturbing.
They do have people that come out and clean that you can hire, but they don't clean. The state doesn't clean it. No.
That is so disturbing.
It is disturbing. It's disturbing, like, you know, and I know that it's happened out there. So if this has happened to anyone out there, you know, I'm sorry. But sometimes if their loved one was at home murdered violently or any type way, or they've committed suicide or anything, they'll come in and it'll be an investigation scene and they'll have the tapes and they'll do everything. But once they're done, you're responsible for the cleanup. But you can hire people that specifically do that, because you do need to hire someone to specifically get rid of all that, because it contains blood and, you know, it's a lot of stuff. So they got to come in with chemicals and clean. But yeah, some people actually clean it themselves. They have to clean it themselves.
Disturbing.
They have to get brain splatters and they have to.
Why you gotta get so like gory?
Because that's the truth. That's reality.
Yeah, I don't know if I watched a video or something where somebody talked about something that had happened. I think it was in their yard or something like that. Somebody had been murdered and they had to clean it themselves. Like they had to hose it down with a hose.
Yeah. They don't come and clean that.
So
that state is not going to come and clean it. That's,
disturbing.
you know, they don't have the money for that.
That is.
I mean, they'll come and they'll do the investigation but they're not cleaning.
Yeah, I can imagine having to clean up.
And it costs a lot.
Something like that.
It costs a lot. There are people that have their own companies that do that. So
it's insane.
I mean, if you got the stomach for it, if I had the stomach for it, I would do it.
I wouldn't.
You know how much money you make? If you got the stomach for
let's
cleaning out.
capitalize off of terrible
Well,
events
somebody's got to do it. It's
happen.
better for someone else to do it than the family. Somebody's got to do it.
That's wrong.
It's
wrong, just break even.
How? Somebody's got to come and clean it. They got to pay for their expenses. They, you know, the time for cleaning, the products that they use to clean.
Yeah, it seems
and
wrong
disinfect.
to make profit off of something like that. Like I feel like a non-profit should do that.
Everyone makes profit off of someone
that
else's
doesn't make it
loss
right
and pain.
That doesn't make it right. I just don't believe in that.
Now, price gouging, that's different. But remember, you're dealing with blood and everything that has to be thrown out a certain way. Like when they're removing mattresses or furniture that have blood in it, they can't just go and dump it in a dumpster. They have to literally take these things and move it somewhere that, I don't know, there are facilities that they have to take it to, and they get charged for dumping them there. And then they dispose.
It's called like a biohazard
place that you have to take.
Not
these
everybody
things to.
uses biohazard waste, though.
If you get caught dumping furniture in a regular dumpster that has blood, you can get fined for that, because it has to go to a bio place to be taken care of.
People do it all the time. Technically, feminine products are thrown away with biohazard, and they don't have to be thrown in a specific biohazard thing, even though technically when you go out in public and the women dispose of their feminine products and stuff like that, they're put in a specific
in a little container
thing
in a specific
to
bag
be thrown away.
Yeah.
But when you're at home, you're not throwing stuff in a biohazard thing. That's not something that people do. People use needles at home. They're not throwing it in a biohazard waste. When you're in public, you have to throw it in like a specific designated location.
There's people that are using needles at home. There's boxes that the pharmacy
like
gives you for free for you to dispose your needles.
People don't do that though.
Then how are they?
Not everybody does that. Not everyone does it though.
But that's what I'm saying. There's laws out there for that. If you get caught,
I wonder if there are. I mean, how are they gonna track the trash back to you? They don't have time to be testing the trash. Be like, oh, who threw this away in here? And it's like,
sometimes they do go through trash.
I'm just saying, not only if they have reason to. I'm saying people do it all the time. Even in like the stories and stuff where they clean stuff, they're just throwing it away like in regular trash anyway.
They shouldn't be doing it.
Well, shouldn't,
but
does, you know, different stories.
They shouldn't be doing that.
I just know because like anything biohazard.
Okay, but still, you're not. Even when a woman is disposing of her feminine stuff, they're still doing it discreetly. You know what I mean? It's still going in a bag. It's still being tied up. You're not just taking a mattress with somebody's brain splattered on there and then putting it in a dumpster.
Can you stop saying stuff like that? Because it's just too inappropriate.
Well, it's the truth.
You don't have to use that verbiage.
Well, there's like brain particles on a furniture.
I don't want to put that in our podcast. You keep saying brain splatter. Like, let's not.
But that's true.
It doesn't matter. You don't have to say it. That's like too, you can say the word murder and suicide, but you don't have to be so graphic.
Well, murder and suicide is graphic too.
But now you're like describing, brain splatter on a mattress. Like, nobody wants to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I don't need to hear it though. I don't need to hear it.
I'm just letting you know that you can't just pick up a furniture that has people's insides on it.
Oh my God. You don't make it any better. Why can't you just say furniture that has been affected, or furniture that has biohazard on it, which can be any sort of bodily fluid?
Because that just makes it better.
It does. I'm not being graphic and saying, when you say brain splatter, now I'm literally envisioning like pieces of brain and blood on a mattress. Whereas you can literally just say a mattress that has like biohazard or any bodily fluid on it. That could be anything. Urine.
Oh my God.
That could be urine.
I'm not a scientist or a teacher. This is how we talk. We don't go.
I don't say that.
It's, somebody was murdered and their biohazards were like all over that mattress.
You don't have to say biohazard, but you could say bodily fluid.
Into the dumpster. No, throwing out biohazards is illegal.
Oh my God, why is this relevant to the conversation?
Because we started talking about who cleans up the mess. Like, don't the cops and all that?
Well, you brought it up talking about that murder house.
Yeah, because they didn't have it. Nobody cleaned it for decades until somebody came in and I guess cleaned it out and gutted it out. There's nothing wrong with saying the truth. I mean, what's the point of having a chat if you can't? Nobody sits around in a normal home.
Nobody sits around in a normal home and just goes, yeah, brain splatter on the mat. Like, why?
Because we're talking about cleaning.
Yeah, but I don't need you to go. I didn't talk about any of that stuff. I'm talking about cleaning. I'm just saying I think it's wrong that people make profit off of cleaning from stuff like that. I don't need you to say brain splatter for me to understand what you're talking about.
That we're not talking about a period stain or, somebody cut their finger.
The context,
their blood.
It doesn't matter. The context of it is all the same. They're all equally as likely to spread contaminants from one person to another or to carry something in it.
But if something has a little bit of blood on it, nobody gives a shit. You could throw that shit in the dumpster. You know how many mattresses and shit they throw in the dumpster with shit?
Ew.
Like,
gross.
But I'm talking about like the insides of a person.
Oh my God. I am so like you just keep doing it. You keep finding a reason to say it. Like, moving on.
Why are you so sensitive about
moving
this?
On.
It's life. That's life.
Yeah, because I just find myself in everyday situations just having to come across people's insides.
No, it's like when you're watching a movie. They don't sit there going, dang, he just got his biohazard thrown out of his body all over that wall. No,
they're like, they're talking about movies.
Their brains are splattered all over that wall.
Who sits around talking about stuff like that?
I'm saying, like, even in the movie.
Oh my God.
When they come in, they go, oh my God, their brains are like splattered all over.
I don't say, even if we are watching a movie that's something like that happens, I don't go, oh my God, look, their brains all over the walls. No, I do. I just say, oh my gosh, like, that was so
disgusting.
I just say that is so gory. Moving on. I don't sit
there. So disgusting.
I don't sit there and say, look at their.
Yeah,
that's you because you're freaking weird and nasty.
Wow.
I do not do that. Like, if I watch a movie and there's a scene that is like that, that's really nasty, I do not sit there and go, oh my God, look at the little pieces of their brain and their intestines. I just go, ew, that is so gruesome. Moving on. First of all.
I'm like, oh, did you see that?
First of all, I don't watch gory movies like that. I watch more paranormal, haunted stuff that not necessarily is gory. And the gory stuff, I don't really like it because when I see stuff happen to people, like even when I watch that movie Texas Chainsaw Massacre and he's like cutting people in half and stuff, and it just like hurts my soul to watch it. And like there's one scene where he goes after the guy, like the guy's going down into the basement and the chainsaw guy comes and like starts attacking him in the back with this hook.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And then he hooks him and hangs him.
Yeah, it's like bad enough that I had to watch it. I don't want to talk about it play by
just
play.
Like your dad.
I don't want to talk a play by play like, oh, his intestines were hanging. Like I don't want to talk about that.
He like cut his intestines out and he's looking
listen,
at his intestines just
you're insensitive to my sensitivities. You're being insensitive to me.
I'm not insensitive. He can't watch that stuff either. It sucks because
I don't
really
like it.
I really don't have anybody that I can watch it with.
I just
sit there and talk gory without having to.
That is like.
It's like
yeah, let's just put that out there. You just like watching disgusting, gruesome things, and you just want to have a group of people that you can just talk to about.
I just want to be like,
blood.
Ew, did you see that? Oh my god, I think that was a piece of his brain. Oh, that is disgusting.
My god,
look,
what is wrong with you?
It's hitting the wall. Look, it's going down the wall. That's the kind of conversations that I want.
Oh my god, that's not the kind of conversation.
That's the kind of conversations I want to have when I'm looking at a movie like that. I can't have those conversations with him, and obviously, I can't have it with you.
I don't like watching gory films. I'm not a gory film person. I prefer the supernatural films that are scary. And even so, I've stopped watching those.
I like
too.
horror movies.
You like horror?
Horror movies. Yes, horror movies.
Horror movies.
I like horror movies.
I like horror movies. Now, what doesn't bother me is like watching like horror films with ghosts and stuff like that, and like they are breaking the people's bones and stuff. That doesn't really bother me that much.
How does that not bother you?
Because it's not gory.
How is breaking somebody's bones I mean, you can hear their bones.
It's not gory because you're not seeing blood and stuff.
How does that not touch your soul?
I don't know. Like flip their head around 360 degrees.
Know, because you're constantly going.
Flip their head around 360 degrees, crack their like arms in 3 different places.
So for you, that's not gory.
Doesn't bother me as much.
Why were you a chiropractor? I don't understand. I
now
think you just
the
like hearing the
chiropractor.
bones click,
now chiropractor cracking. Disturbs me. When I saw you get adjusted and he was pulling your neck and it looked like he was breaking your neck, that was disturbing.
It's like, whoa,
that was some creepy stuff right there. I don't need to see that again.
I respect chiropractors. I respect that technique. If that would have been me, I would have broke her neck.
That's what it looks like. Your neck is being broken. That creeps me out. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the haunted stuff is as scary though. When they're like vomiting, that is disturbing to me. I don't like when they be vomiting all over the place.
Oh, like on Exorcist.
I come to think of it, maybe I just don't like any bodily fluids because it also creeps me out if they show feces.
Well, we shouldn't say vomiting. We shouldn't say vomiting. We should just call it all biohazards.
Really?
They're disposing biohazards from within their bodies. That is a scientific and formal way of saying.
You know,
their guts was out.
Or you could say bottom.
Really? There you go again. You can't stop saying about people's insides coming out. Can't stop. Nope.
One time someone said something about like, no, it was an episode of 911, I think. Do you remember the episode of 911 where the guy was at the house? Where the guy was at was his house, but it was foreclosed or something like that. It wasn't his anymore. Oh yeah. And then the realtor came up or whatever. Yeah. He was like, "You need to get out of the property." He's like, "I'm not leaving." And then he ran over him.
Yeah.
There was like in the scene, his guts were sticking out of his back.
He was being squished.
Oh my! That was the most disturbing thing.
I was like, "Oh man, look! Oh, his guts are coming out from behind." Oh, sorry, his back was excreting his biohazards from within his body, and they were trying to subdue from it further coming out. They were afraid to move that because the rest of his biohazards were splashed all over the place.
There is the biohazard.
Is that less gruesome?
The biohazard that comes from the mouth. The biohazard that comes from the butt. The biohazard that comes from
within anywhere
whatever
of the body. Whatever can secrete any biohazards.
No, you can just call it like how we called it when I used to work at Universal, and we have different like codes for bodily fluids.
Why don't we just call it what it is?
There's a code radio term for biohazard, like bodily fluids. So, but the thing is, you had to describe the bodily fluid by the color. So you had to be like,
oh my God.
So you had to say code 5 yellow. So that means like urine.
Ew.
And I always said, I never ever want to hear the term code 5 brown.
That's disgusting.
And then I was like, well, what do you call code 5 that's like vomit? Do I have to describe the color of the vomit? Like
code 5 green.
Code 5 pink. No, that one you just call it code 5 straight up.
Oatmeal. Yeah. That is a color.
Code 5 churro.
Code 5, I think pork.
Oh my God. No, did I tell you? This is like a whole. This
something
like
that shouldn't be in your body in the first place.
This is a whole separate. That's a whole separate discussion that I would have to have on my like on my like
disgusting.
theme park conversations. So
in wrapping up, would you buy a haunted house?
Yes.
And not only would you buy it, would you live in it? We like to know.
Or would you flip it?
Or would you just purchase and flip? Either way, we want to know what your comment is.
Or do you even believe in haunted houses?
Or do you believe in hauntings at all?
Yeah, some people don't.
Some people don't. Not unless they see it with their own eyes.
Yeah.
But for me, hauntings is like talking about the wind. We can't see it. We can't smell it. But we can feel it. It's there. So for me, spirits are kind of like
you can see
the
wind sometimes. You can see it when it manifests in the form of a tornado. That's wind.
Well, that's like the wind when it manifests into a tornado. It's like a person who turns into a ghost who manifests into a spirit.
I don't think that's really the same thing as what I said.
Anyway, I don't believe that every single house that you see on YouTube is haunted. I do believe in hauntings because if you believe in energy, then you have to believe spirits go somewhere when they leave the body. Everybody has their own different beliefs, and I respect every single belief out there. So for me, that's mine. I do believe in reincarnations. I do believe that, the spirits sometimes stay stuck. I do believe that there's other dimensions where spirits can go. So I believe a lot of stuff out there. So share your belief. Tell us if you would buy a haunted house, if you believe in hauntings, and, if you want to see us doing haunted houses, let us know too. Well, and if you have a haunted house that you want us to visit, let us know.
Well, no matter what, I'm definitely going to be doing videos of haunted locations. Whether you want to see it or not, it will happen. Because I've been wanting to do that for all the time.
So if you have a haunted house and you want us to come out and check it out, let us know.
Yeah. We will sage that place up.
We'll come out. First, we'll come out. We'll see if there's any activity. We'll try to communicate with the spirit, and then we'll sage the hell out of it, out of that home, and where it belongs.
Interesting choice of words.
I do believe in saging. Gets rid of negative energy.
You only sage like every night.
Every single night. Night.
At first I didn't like. At first I didn't like the smell, but now I'm just like, it's just that smell, of going to bed. That means it's time for sleep.
That means it's bedtime.
Yeah, that means it's bedtime. It's become more of a comfort now than an annoyance.
It's like, hey, she didn't sage. No.
Where's that sage at?
That wouldn't happen.
Yeah. Now I used to not like the smell. Now I'm like, oh, I don't mind it. I might even sage myself.
I like saging.
Hey.
It gives me comfort. It gives me, I don't know. I just sage out all the bad negative energy and only welcome positive energy, and I sleep better. So, and the house feels better.
Truth. Well, that's a personal opinion.
Yep. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, so that wraps up today's episode talking about real haunted houses that are for sale or were for sale. Thanks for listening. We hope that you're staying safe. I can't talk. Let me try again. Hold on. Let me retry.
We hope that you're staying safe.
Let me retry that. So thank you for listening to today's episode. That wraps up our conversation on real life haunted houses, whether they are for sale or were for sale, are being inhabited right now. We hope that you enjoyed it. If you have not already, make sure that you subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. We're also on YouTube as well. You can subscribe to us there, hit the notification bell so you're notified every time that we upload a new podcast. We post episodes every Wednesday and Friday. So thank you so much for listening. We hope to hear from you. Drop a comment. If you believe in ghosts, drop a ghost emoji comment. If you don't believe in ghosts, drop the praying hands. I don't even know if that's praying hands or if it's like a thank you emoji. Drop the thank you emoji below, or the 100 emoji.
Yeah.
Or the confused face.
Just drop an emoji.
Yeah. Drop an emoji. Anyway, so thank you for listening. We hope that you are staying safe, happy, and healthy, and manifesting everything you desire out of life.
Amen. Ooh.
I squeezed my hand in the thing. That's messed up, yo.
You should keep that in because it sounds like we ended with a ooh. We gotta go back and hear that part.